Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Spiritual Sharing. I'm your host, Shannon, a psychic, intuitive medium. There we go, a couple of labels. On this week's podcast, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I've been a little bit preoccupied with other tasks, I guess you could say, and I've missed a week in the podcast series, so I thought I would give a little bit back to you guys that have been listening, and I'm going to do things quite differently in that this week's podcast is going to be a reading. I'll get more into that in a minute. For now, I just want to say thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and I am once again your host, Shannon, and this is Spiritual Sharing. Okay, so we're going to get stuck into it. How I will go about this reading, obviously there are a million different ways to conduct readings based on the needs of the audience, as this is going to be a general reading just for whoever is listening. Know that there may not be messages in here for you. There may be some things that resonate. It all may resonate for you. That's just the way that it works. If you need to hear something, by all means, you'll hear it. So don't be disheartened if you do listen and you don't feel that any of the messages that come in connect with you. It just may mean that whoever they do connect with was needing to hear them more. Basically today what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do a mediumship reading. I'm going to work with tarot today. I'm going to do more of a psychic reading, psychic intuitive. It'll just be general for whoever's listening. I'll do a quick overview just to see what's coming up now. The time frame, where are we? We're on the start of April. We'll try and aim it for the focus to be for the month of April, remaining month of April, but just know that if you listen to this and it clicks and resonates with you, and then by the end of April any of the things mentioned haven't happened yet, that's not to say that they won't. It's just that time isn't locked into any specifics in the spiritual practices of everything. Basically, that's really general. And I'm rambling a little bit here, but basically, like, time is linear. There's no such thing as time in the spirit world. It doesn't work like that. They don't work like that. So generally it can be up to 6 months, but I'm going to put the intention out there that we want it to be within the month. So unless there's something that really needs to... Oops. I'm just getting some sage going on here. So that's why I'm a little bit distracted. I should have done this prior, but we're being real today, so you're getting it in the midst of. Always good to have a little sage going when you're doing any sort of spiritual work. I also make my own smudge spray, which you can do as well. It's really a piece of piss. I put water out during a full coming into a new moon. I just did it for the last super moon. So I mix my smudge with moon water, but any sort of filtered water, I put a couple of drops of witch hazel. That's just a good preservative. Whatever oils you want to use, lavender's good. I obviously use white sage oil, but I haven't always. Sometimes I do just use lavender. And then you put pretty much whatever oils you like in there. Some sea salt. I think that's it. Off the top of my head, now I'm having a mental blank, but yeah. And it works a treat. Spray before and after every reading. Okay, so general overview. We had 4 cards drop out straight off the bat, and I'm working for your overview. I'm using the Goddess Oracle. Ouch. Okay, and then I'll just have a quick look over the cards to see what I get from them. And I'm sorry if you can hear banging and crashing, it's quite windy here today. Okay, overall, and I know I am working with the Goddess Oracle, but I do see April being just a feminine month overall. Now, I'm not too up there. I know the basics when it comes to astrology, but I couldn't tell you what phase we're in at the moment, what's going on. I think it's Pisces. No, wait. Where are we? We're April. Anyways, ignore me. Numbers get me a little bit confused, so even though the answer is right in front of my face, I seem to overthink it. Okay, so straight away, some of you for April, there's going to be a real need to be honest with yourself. I feel that some of you are feeling a little bit disconnected from what it is that you're passionate about. Some of you are still searching for that thing that puts fire up your ass and gets you motivated every day. So the message here is, if you're somebody that is sort of wandering, feeling lost, feeling disconnected from those things that you are passionate about, the message here is to be honest with yourself. Look within. What is it? What I often do in periods where I get a bit stuck and lost, I guess you could say, I'll sit down and I'll say to myself, what is it that I want to do? 110%. And if that is literally sitting on my bum doing nothing all day, then I'll be honest with myself and be like, look, right now I don't want to do anything. And you can put that intention out there, and if that's what you need, it will come in for you. So there's that message there. I feel that there's just a bit of a disconnect for some of you. Not only just with your passionate self, but with your inner self as well. Your inner goddess for the women out there. Your inner goddess for the men out there. There's a need to get more in tune within yourself. Some of you will, if you work with ritual and what have you, will want to pull from Aphrodite, from the energy of Aphrodite for the month of April. Aphrodite helps to ignite fire and passion and self-love within yourself. And you can do this through dance, through taking time for yourself, through appreciating gratitude. Write a gratitude journal out and awaken your inner self. Spiritual baths. There might be a need for some of you, maybe are just a little bit blocked by current energies and current situations that are out of your control. Another message here is, for some of you in April, your home life situation is going to be shifting. Some of you are going to be moving. Some of you are going to be kicking people out. It's like this person or person's taken advantage for too long, and in April you just bite the bullet and go, you got to get out of here, you got to sort your own shit, I've helped you as much as I can. For others, you're going to be bringing in somebody. Some of you in a partnership, I see this as being, you're going to be bringing that person into your home life. So there's going to be quite a few changes for a lot of you in terms of your home life. I know for me personally, I've got a family member staying here for a month. I've got cousins coming up on the weekend, and they're going to crash here on their bed in the lounge room. Like, it's just sometimes things at home get a little bit crazy, but that's okay. I love having family around, so bring it on, I say. Okay. And I think that the overall, another overall sort of situation here is, for some of you who are working with manifestation, some of you are working with manifestation, some of you are really focusing on your love life at the moment and bringing somebody in. Some of you are wanting your relationship to progress to the next level. You're sort of really intent and focusing on that at the moment. There's a reminder not to hurry and rush things. If your intent is so focused, like angry focus on something, you will put up a wall of resistance, and you won't get that. When it comes to an engagement, if you're not going to be the person that's going to go, okay, will you marry me? And you are wanting the other person to initiate, they're not going to do it if all they can sense is you harboring on them to propose or, move in, or whatever the situation. If you want, if your financial situation isn't great and you're really like, where's the money? Why aren't I getting the money? I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm not. Then you're resisting. You need to be open to the process and open. Ooh, Spidey, where did you come from? Bloody hell. And be open to the process and open to the fact, come on, mate, you need to go. You can't be in here. You need to get. Okay, I'm just going to stop it for a minute because we have a spider. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit of an arachnophobe and spiders are not my thing. And this little guy literally just came straight out from under this card. So I'm going to be Googling all about that later, let me tell you. So yeah, just know that what it is that you're trying to manifest will come in, but you need to breathe. You need to give it time to do what it needs to do and come in when it needs to come in, because it will. But if your focus is becoming negative because of the intent behind it, if the intent's turned from, this is something that I need in my life and I want this to happen and I welcome this into my life, to this has to happen now. Well, it's not going to happen now. It'll happen when it needs to. So just breathe on that. Alright, I'm sorry if you can hear banging and crashing while I'm shuffling. But, I'd love to know where that little spider comes from. Where did he go now? Yeah, he's off. I let him go. He just come out of nowhere. And he was only a little baby. Okay, some of you are going to have the truth revealed to you this month about a situation, or you're going to be revealing the truth to somebody about a situation. I feel that with the revealing of this truth, it's going to perhaps put a dampening on the relationship for those of you that this relates to. While some of you are going to be receiving information, this is something to do with this particular person or persons revealing something to somebody. I feel that you're aware of the fact that you're going to have to be the person that reveals this information. This is a spiritually guided knowing. It's like, if I don't do this, no one else is going to do this. I can't do this to my friend. I can't do this to this person. And safe knowledge that I've got their best interests, So it's like you just are aware of the fact that I'm going to have to be the one that tells them. I'm going to have to be the one that lets them know. And you're being guided to do that. So know that it's coming from a spiritual place. It's coming from a spiritual place of guidance. So it's relevant. It's necessary. How this person receives the information is out of your control, but the fact that it had to be done, and it obviously looks like it had to be done and come from you, know that it's the right thing. Okay, there's a need for some of you that are doing spiritual work to be cleansing, especially doing some cleansing with your third eye chakra. I can see that there is blocks forming in there. I'm starting to feel this for myself as well. So there's a need to, if you work with crystals, do crystal work. If you smudge. Have a spiritual bath. And if you do have a spiritual bath, if you're not aware, is a salt bath. I chuck in crystals, I chuck in white sage, I chuck in lavender, I chuck in sandalwood, whatever you're feeling drawn to. You can put rose petals in there. If you work with spell work, you can make it a ritualistic spell bath. And just it just clears away. When you get into the bath, visualize anything that's attached, anything that's blocking you, anything that's holding you down, any negative energies, washing away in the water. And make sure you submerge. You need to get your head under that water. So if you're somebody that does spiritual work and you're feeling a disconnect, if you're feeling withdrawn, if you're getting those urges to be like, oh, I need to take a break, maybe it's just the fact that you're getting blocked and you need to up the ante. Okay, let me see what this one. Yeah, and then I do see that For others, this is necessary because of the fact that you're going through a period of download, you're going through a period of a spiritual awakening. Perhaps this is an ascension period for some of you, and it's like your head's chaos again. It's like we've just come out of retrograde. I know we're in shadow period, but it's kind of like, you know, when you come into retrograde period and it's sort of like things that are clipped together, you start seeing little cracks. It's sort of like you're experiencing that at the moment. Let me just see what we've got here. We've got quite a few cards come out. So I do feel with that cleansing and with that spiritual bath and doing, you know, staying true to the practice that you practice, you will step out of that. You will be able to clear the blocks away there. Okay, some of you are going to be feeling that a sense of triumph, potentially around the 7th, which has just passed. So this is something that you're experiencing, or currently a current situation, and it's between the 7th and the 13th, so you're in the middle of it kind of now. But this is to do with resisting temptation, and I don't feel that this relates to somebody who is currently partnered. I feel that this is somebody who has come out of a partnership in the last however long. You are ready for the fact, you are ready to move on, and are open now to the fact of perhaps finding somebody new. But it's like somebody is tempting you. Somebody has come in here and they're sort of waving a bit of a red flag in front of you, and while it's tempting, you're interested. You want to sort of take the bait. I think that you will overcome this. I think you've gone through a real period of transformation. This is especially to do with your relationships. This is especially to do with realization of the sort of person that you want to be in a relationship, but also the sort of person that you, or people that you want to move away from romantically. For those of you that this may relate to, that this hasn't happened, like you haven't experienced this yet, just know that it could be coming in still. This is from the 7th to the 13th, so where this relates is what I'm seeing. So if this is something that hasn't happened yet, know that it might happen yet. And I mean, you can take the bait if you want to, but I see, however you handle this situation, you know that this person isn't like couple material. They might be coming to you with, oh, I can offer you this, and you're this, and I'm this, and we could be this, and we could be that. And it's like, you're just there for fun and play. Like, really. You're like, look, this is what it is. I'm not here for you to be making me any kinds of promises. That's not what I'm looking for. Whether you tell them this or not, but you're very aware of the fact that you're like, you know, you can tell me what I want to hear. That feels really good. But in yourself, you're like, I ain't taking that bait. Okay, some of you are going to be seeing a lot of 3 symbolism, 333s, 33s. And I do see that this period here, this person from the 7th to the 13th, the message here is, if this is you and you're like, yeah, you're great and everything like that, you're sort of filling a void for me right now, but you're well aware of the fact that you don't want to pursue anything serious with this person, the message here is that's great, because the next cards that we have coming out relate to partnerships, and knowing that for the effort and work that you've put in order to get to where you are within yourself, and being aware of who you want, who you don't want, and who you're going to be in a relationship, know that there is an energy coming in for you. There are partnerships, there are romantic alliances that are coming forward for your greater good, that do reward you for the efforts and for the lessons. This person that comes in between the 7th and the 13th, and I mean, like I said, it could be further than that. That's just the number, that's just the time frame that they're giving me as a general. but know that this is 100% a temptation in terms of you being able to see how far you've come and where you've gotten to. And once you realise that, there is new positive energy coming in for you. That's exciting. Passion's ignited, and it's like the good kind. Okay, let's see what else we've got here, guys. Ooh. There's also a bit of work to be done around the throat chakra for some of you, and I know that, you know, there could be work to be done on all the bloody chakras for everybody, but these are just the ones that are coming out here quite clear. So far we've had the base chakra and the throat chakra, a lot of blue, and the third eye. Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, so know that for a lot of you, love is a big one for you this month. I can see that you have been working with the heart. For some of you, you've been putting a lot of time and effort into the heart and getting and focusing on your heart chakras. Know that the mental conflict that you have been experiencing in relation to love life, in relation to moving forward from situations, people, places and things, I can see that the direction that you're being pulled in is one that is divinely guided. Know that you're not going through this period of conflict with love within yourself alone. They're saying here to have patience. Don't sort of just I feel like for whoever this relates to, you've been really doing the work that's necessary in terms of walking away from what it is that you don't want, from walking away from this past relationship. You want to better yourself. You want to, it's like you've had a realization, this is the sort of person I am in relationships. This is the sort of person I want to be in relationships. And they're saying to have patience here. They're aware of the fact that you've done necessary work to get to where you are at the moment. They don't want you to give up last minute because you're growing tired of, you know, when's this person coming in for me? When am I going to have this? When's this going to happen to me? They want you to stay focused on the fact that you're doing what needs to be done to get exactly that. Okay, let me just clarify. We've got a bit of a balance issue here with some of you. I just want to see. Okay, some of you are struggling with okay, some of you are struggling with perhaps getting your partner on board. I can see that for some of you, you're ready to go into the next phase of the relationship. You're married, you've got the house, you've done the whole spiel, you're ready to have kids. I feel that there's a place of resistance. You're being met with a place of resistance. There needs to, yes, you should stand your ground. If this is something that you want, and this is something that you've been discussing together for quite some time, and now that you're feeling like the time is ready, the time is now. Know that there does need to be a little bit of a balance here, though. I do see that while this is something that you want, I do feel that this is something that perhaps you both want. There is a need to remember that pressure's not the right way to go about this. Pressuring somebody into this situation isn't the right way to go about it. And it's not that you're pressuring them from a place of, like, this is what I want to do, this is what we're doing, that's it, that's fine. Or it's more that it's more that, like, you're ready now and you want them to be on board as well. It's more that you have talked about this and you're like, all right, we've talked about it, we've made some agreement, now is the time. They're not backing out. The message here is to remain in the hope that this is going to come in for you, because I do see that it will. Stand your ground. Let it be known that this is something that you're ready to do now, but be open to the fact that they do have a say in it as well. I think that's what where their resistance comes from. They're not feeling that. They're feeling like you've just made this decision and they just have to go along with it. They want this too, but they're stubborn in the fact that they want it to be a partnership. They want it to be a team effort. Their concern moving forward, like, this is a big deal. Bringing a child into the world is a big deal. And their concern here is, if we can't even do this together, we can't even agree and move through this in a positive direction to bring a child in, how are we going to go when the child's actually here? That's their concern. So maybe sit down with them, give them some reassurance. It's not about pressuring. Okay, some of you... I feel like for some of you who this relates to, there's just a need to know that new situations are coming in for you. There is a current block here. I can see you're feeling like you don't have the ability to make decisions. You don't have the ability to decide how it is that your life's going to plan out. I feel like for some of you, you're feeling like your own right to make your own decisions has been taken away. And you're sort of trapped in this bubble of thinking that way. Know that circumstances can change overnight. Yes, you may have put yourself into the current position that you're in, whether it's financially, work-related, family, whatever. But know that, you control the directions that you go, but at the same time, it can change overnight. You might be in this particular situation overnight, and then doors can open up in a completely different direction the next day. So don't be trapped in the thought of, I can't begin anything new, I can't get to where I want to go, I don't have any decisions, I've got no direction in my life because of my present situation. Well, that can change. Know that it can change. I do see that when you realise this, when you realise that, my circumstances right now will not define my circumstances moving forward, you will get momentum, you will get to where you need to be. But if you keep remaining stuck in the fact that I've made my bed, I have to lay in it, you don't have to lay in it forever. Like, get up, change the sheets. And victory and success, those things that you want, those desires that you have for your future, keep focused on them. If you don't know what they are, how can you strive to get them? If you don't know where it is that you want to be in 5 years' time, how can you even get there? I'm not saying that you have to sit down and plan out your whole entire life, but set goals for yourself. Tell yourself what it is that you want. If you're in a shitty situation and you're feeling like, this is it, I'm so stuck, I can't get out of this, think beyond it. Think beyond the situation and think, okay, if I wasn't in this situation, where would I want to be? What would I want to be doing? And be realistic. If you have a clear set goal as to where it is that you want to go moving forward, it will come in for you. There's no reason why it can't. Except for yourself. You are your worst enemy. Okay. I'll just see if we get one more little one pop out. Probably. Yeah, we did. Know that overall, again, for you guys, for the month of April, whoever's listening, overall, I see April being a really good month. I see that there's still things that need work, but that's life. There's never going to be a moment in your life where everything is perfect and everything sits into place, because that's not the point of life. Like, that's not the point of reality. There's too many, everybody has free will. So not everybody is going to be on the same page as you. There are things that are going to come in that are going to cause barriers. But overall, positive month. There's prosperity in the month for you. There's new beginnings in the month for you. There's coming together. There's partnerships. A lot of new for you guys. Yeah, whoever's listening. Like, April looks to be good for a lot of you. So there is work to be done, but know that by the end of April, I do see whether or not, it's kind of like the energy for April is getting through shit that needs to be gotten through, and then coming out of April towards the end of April, moving into the 1st of May. Energies start to shift, things start to ramp up, do the work. I'm definitely seeing here third eye, those that are spiritually connected, spiritually guided, even if you're not and you feel pulled to do this, get in there, get some smudging, get some cleansing, get some crystal work going, ritual, have that spiritual bath. Another one for you guys, a big one there is the heart chakra, but that's work that's already being done, is the base chakra. If you're not sure about chakras and how, it's a simple Google search. The base chakra is connected to quite a few different things. I know for me, when the base chakra comes up, it relates to childhood issues, childhood setbacks that are sort of still harbouring in my adult life. So have a look into them. We might even do next week's episode on chakras and what each of them represent. That might be something that's quite interesting because I'm always banging on about it. Okay, so we'll leave it there. So that's a little bit of insight into a general reading I wanted to do for you guys, and I do monthly tarot spreads on my YouTube channel, which is Spiritual Medium Shannon. You can find that just by Googling Spiritual Medium Shannon. Everything's on my website, so if you Google Spiritual Medium Shannon Wix, my website will pop up there and you'll be able to go in and have access to all the goodies. I am currently doing a little work on my Facebook page and my Facebook group. I'm currently over there offering some mini readings to try and bring people in, one, to the community, and two, to see how I work. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, Spiritual Medium Shan, Spiritual Medium Shannon on Facebook, and you should be able to find me there. Okay guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for listening. I apologise for missing last week. Life gets in the way. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't, but I'll be back on track from now. I love you all. Thank you for listening, and I hope you're having a great week.